Hey,
Hello,
dude.
Russell Peters.
Ah,
Oh, good sound check.
that's how I do it.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you,
Hey,
Russell? My name's Mike. I work at Funny 820, and it's a pleasure to meet you, man.
how are you, Mike?
I'm
Funny
doing.
820. It's a comedy AM station.
It is in the Hammer, and we play a lot of Russell Peters, man.
Well, that's unfortunate for you guys. I apologize. You know what I used to listen to back in the day was Ted Wallachin on Sunday
Yeah,
Night Funnies.
very cool stuff, eh?
Yeah, like in the early '80s and shit stuff.
Yeah.
You swear, right?
What's really cool right now is we have a digitally remastered library, so they've actually didn't just remove the swear words, but actually put in some pacing, maybe a little audience noise, whatever. The guy spent just zillions of hours doing it so that the jokes don't lose the timing, but we don't actually have any swear words, and it actually is pretty phenomenal stuff. So
Well, back then there was not much swearing either. They
no,
would play like funny songs like "Fish Heads" and "Dead Puppies" and all that kind of stuff. Remember
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, yes, oh no, I do. I'm old enough.
How old are you there, Mike?
I'm 55.
Oh, you only got 5 years on me and Manolis.
Ah, see there.
I'm 49,
Hey, dude, you're gonna be 50 soon, dude.
July 21st.
I know, dude. Before me.
I'm older than you, eh?
Yeah, by 2 months.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's like.
I have to stop smoking, so my boners kept working. So that's about the. But you
That
don't smoke.
sounds like a country song. I had to stop smoking, so my boners kept working.
Are we live on Facebook, Patrick Coppolino?
Yes, we are live.
We're live on Facebook. Hey,
Yes.
everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us for Friday at 420, our 100th episode. The only thing Manolis has done 100 times is, I don't even want to say it.
Bomb.
Normally, at this point in the show, to kick it off, I would introduce my panel, my co-host, but screw that. We've got Russell Peters with us. Everybody say hi to Russell Peters. How are you, Russell?
Hello, kids. Hello, Pat. Hello, Mike. Hello, Manali.
How are you doing, Russell? I know you're in LA.
I am, yeah.
And how are things there? I know it's been crazy everywhere, but just give us a little sense of how things have been going for you and your family.
Me and my family fell apart, but other than that, this has actually been the worst fucking quarantine I've ever had. Like I've been in many, but this quarantine went as bad as you could have hoped it to have gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it hasn't gone well.
Yeah.
Are you able to get out and about now?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did shows all weekend. I was in San Diego. I did 7 shows, so that was nice. I mean, there's no front row anymore because they put the tables in no front row, and then the audience, which is good because I spit a lot anyway. So
How were the shows? Were they good? I mean, it must have felt great to be back on stage, right?
yeah, Thursday show. I couldn't even remember my name. It was awful. Like I was like, I got on stage. This is 31 years of stand up, and I got on stage, and I was maybe about after 4 or 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I just want this to end. And I don't know how I got through an hour. I was literally looking at the clock. There's a clock on the stage. I was doing a countdown in my head. I'm like, oof, come on.
That sounds like most of Manolis' shows.
No, that's the audience at Manolis' shows.
All right, let me get to the rest of the panel here, as we always do. Let's introduce Patrick Coppolino. Mr. Coppolino, how are you, sir?
Buongiorno. I'm very good.
Buongiorno.
No, Mr. Bob Coppolino.
I get that all the
And
time.
we have our good friend Manolis Zontanos. How are you, Manoli?
Tikanis.
Oh,
No,
now
we
you're
got-
speaking Greek.
Baby. We can hardly hear you, man. You got a microphone right in front of your face, and I can hardly hear you.
You can't hear me?
Okay, Manolis, keep it out of your mouth.
Hey, for real, you can't hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Talk nice and loud, okay?
All right. Hey,
All right.
how's that?
Yeah, that's
Good.
better.
Russell, I'm sure you're very familiar with our show, so I don't need to explain it to you. But for the audience at home, let me explain. We have 12 random topics in these 12 official envelopes. I've got right over here a Plinko board, and that's how we'll determine your random topic. So let me Plinko
Okay,
for
that'd
you,
be
Russell. Since you can't do it yourself.
I mean, you can Plinko yourself, but
That's Manolis talks a
don't
lot
do
about
it
that
on
on the show.
bus.
Yes. Russell Peters, your very first topic on this Friday at 420, the 100th edition. Russell Peters, you're going to get rid of one day of the week. Which day is it going to be?
Let's get rid of Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
Yeah.
You don't like hump day, man? That's like very popular on social media.
Today's Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
Yes, it is.
If we'd gotten rid of Wednesday, this wouldn't be happening.
Patrick Coppolino, what day of the week do you want to get rid of?
Honestly, now it doesn't even matter. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Every day is Wednesday. So
you're going to go with Wednesday, too?
Sure.
Manoli, you got a day that...
I love Wednesdays because usually I get drunk on Wednesdays. But
how is that different from Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for you?
That's exactly right. That's my point. Now it's like I don't even know anymore. I try to see how many days I go without alcohol, but it doesn't really work out for me.
So is there a day in there?
Oh, I'm gonna say I don't know.
That was our easy round. Let's get into something tough here. Manolis, this topic's for you to start on Friday at 420. Can you handle a power tool?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Are you pretty good? Yeah.
Yeah. I own my own drill. I use it at I'm the one that does all the. I'm like the handy guy at Levity Comedy.
Like the handicapped guy.
Yeah.
And
I'm
always just it's a drill if you have a drill bit on it. You have a dildo on the end of yours.
Usually someone else is using it and they're behind me. I had there was this like the green room at Levity Comedy Club in Hamilton, where there was this fridge. Me and Patrick wanted to get out of there, but they built the green room
around the fridge.
Around the fridge. So I decided, though, you know those fridges that they have like in bars for like Coke or beers and all that. It was one of those fridges.
Like the big walk-ins.
Yeah, like it's like the sliding door. There was no way we could, so I'm thinking like I'll just take this thing apart and then we'll just walk it out in parts. And then so I took the whole thing apart, but the frame was like a cooler, like an actual cooler, and I was like drilling rivets out and then like trying to cut it apart. It took me like 5 hours to tear this thing apart. I remember how crazy I was going.
Yeah. That was nuts.
And then it turns out they had double doors and you didn't see them. You didn't walk the whole thing.
Exactly.
Russell, before we get to the power tool question, let me ask you this: fond memories of playing gigs in the Hammer, since that's where we're broadcasting from.
31 years of this. I played many, early in my career, maybe around 1990, 91, around then. Chris Pongrak and Chris and Diane used to have a gig called Quackers Comedy, and it was in the basement of the Aquarium, the restaurant.
Okay.
You know that restaurant?
I don't.
Seafood restaurant called the Aquarium, I think it was called. And it was in the basement. It used to stink like shit down there. But we would do these shows, and they would let you eat for free, and that's the only was when I would do them. And they had this delicious Coquille Saint Jacques that I still remember to this day, 30 years later. I'm like, that shit was delicious.
That's the best part of the whole gig, was the dinner afterwards.
And I remember doing it one night, and there was 2 people in the audience, and I just sat at their table and just did my act that way.
Russell, are you any good with power tools? You a handy fella?
No, I'm not at all. But I mean, I'll work a drill to, take some screws out, but I wouldn't, work a bandsaw or nothing like that. I wouldn't try anything crazy. A drill, that's about as far as I go, Trying to think of maybe a sander, but even then I'd screw it up. So let's just go with a drill.
It's a good thing you've been very successful. You can hire people to do that.
Well, even when I wasn't successful, I still had to hire people to do that. I used to do all the handiwork for me, Manolis? Jim McNally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he was a handyman.
He was very handy. Patrick Coppolino, you any good with a power tool, my friend?
No, I mean, Manolis is my handyman, if that tells you anything. So
no, man.
He just shows
You're not just not good with with power tools, you're not even good at finding people.
Yeah, he's Donnie Coy's internet guy too, his tech guy.
Are you Donnie Coy's internet guy,
I'm
Manolis?
Donnie Coy's everything, Russell.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. He still makes liquor store runs for Donnie.
How fast can you make a Black Russian?
Well, I know where they are in all the stores, all the liquor stores.
Oh,
How was Donnie's health? I heard he was sick. Is he okay?
He's been better. He's been better.
How
he
old
just
is
had a birthday, right?
Yeah, it was his birthday like last Thursday. He's 71.
Oh wow! I remember Donnie Coy actually must have been 25 years ago, 1995. I'm doing London, Ontario with him. It's me, him, and I'm middling. He's hosting. I want to say it might have been Wilmot headlining or something.
Okay.
And so he's hosting, and we're in London, Ontario, and he goes, blah blah blah, blah, not like Toronto with all those queers. And then he goes, speaking of queers, here comes your first comic. He's from Toronto. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
The worst intros.
Worst intro ever.
Yeah.
I used to deliberately give Manolis bad intros, but that's because I love him.
Yeah.
I remember the first thing you said to me when we started like remembering each other from being around each other. You asked me if I was a comic, and I said no. And then you said to me, because I hadn't started doing it yet, and you said to me, "Oh, you'll do it." And I didn't even believe you at the time.
I mean, it only took you like you hung around once, and then I said you'll do it. And then the next time you're doing it, I go, well, that was easy enough.
Yeah.
He's still doing it today, Russell. Still doing it today. Patrick, your next topic on this Friday at 4:20, our 100th edition with our special guest, Russell Peters. Did you ever want to be in a band? Did you ever want to be in a band?
I think everybody did at one point, but I don't know. Not really.
Nothing? No musical ability, or?
Yeah, I can play guitar and piano and a little bit of drums, but
You got on stage at was it Jeffrey Ross? Is it Jeffrey Ross?
Yeah, I played piano at one of Jeff Ross's shows. And then he made fun of me. Yeah.
Look at you.
That's the extent of my music career.
Manolis, did you ever want to be in a band? I know you had a thing for Van Halen, but did you ever want to be in a band yourself?
I love Van Halen.
know.
I also love Iron Maiden. Also, Russell does. I
love Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
True.
And
I do.
I know, because you were in my house once. And you're like, "Can I borrow this?" And it was an Iron Maiden CD. I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." I couldn't believe it. Before I did stand-up comedy, there was these guys that I knew, and they wanted me to join a cover band, and because they thought I was like, I had long hair, and they thought I was like a radical dude, I guess. And I'm like, sure. And then after about 3 months of practicing, they kicked me out of the band because I couldn't sing.
It's kind of important.
Yeah. Well, I told them that from the beginning. I don't know if I can sing. And then they're like, no, it'll be fine. Trust us. And then I'm like, I just kept trying. And I think, when I was around, they're like, holy cow, this guy's horrible. And then I got kicked out of a band that never had a gig.
Russell, any musical ability and or desire to be in a band?
So I've been DJing for 35 years.
Oh, okay.
And there's my equipment right there.
Oh, right on.
And I sometimes jam with Nile Rodgers and Chic.
Yep.
Nile Rodgers, who produced every hit in the 70s, 80s, 90s. He produced everything for Chic, Le Freak, Good Times, We Are Family, Upside Down, I'm Coming Out, He's the Greatest Dancer, Let's Dance by David Bowie, Like a Virgin for Madonna, Notorious for Duran Duran, When You See a Chance for Steve Winwood. He produced Love Shack for the B-52s. Anyway, him and I are friends. And I've done this thing with them where I joined the band on stage and have my turntable set up, and Niall will sit in front of me and play the guitar lick for Le Freak, ding, ding, ding,
so cool.
ding, 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 and I'm scratching the beginning of "aw," and we're going back and forth with like ding, 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 and I'm and ding, ding, and then eventually 1, 2, aw, and then the band kicks in, and I'm playing with them, and I get goosebumps every single time we do it.
I got goosebumps listening. I could feel that as you just keep teasing them with it, right?
Oh, it was so cool. I've done it about 4 times with them. It's so cool.
That is awesome, man. What do you get a chance to go out, or you just like to play DJ at home, or do you get a chance to do much?
For me, DJing at home is like maybe Pat, if he's like, you know, bored, he'll pick up his guitar and just play something for himself. It's the same thing. You do it, you put on some music, you zone out. You know?
Yeah. That is really cool, man.
I got some records for you, Russell.
I saw you sent me the pictures.
Yeah, sick, eh?
Yeah, except for you were like, look at these 12 inches, and it was your dick 3 times. That was a math joke, guys.
Even I got it.
Wow.
Big day here on Friday at 420. We've almost got a math joke. Wow. Thanks to Russell Peters for that math joke. Listen, it's time for another topic. This one is topic number 9, and that is yours, Russell. So your topic. I want you to think way back, Russell Peters. Tell me about your first childhood friend. The first childhood friend you can remember.
My first childhood friend I could remember was he was either Yugoslavian or Serbian, a kid named Sasha, and he lived around the corner from me. I used to live at Runnymede in St. Clair back then. I must have been 3, 4 years old, but I remember him still. I remember going to his house, and his parents were very nice, and he was cool. I haven't seen him in, I would say, 46 years. I haven't seen that guy.
Wow.
I don't ever know what happened to him, but I remember him.
Yeah. Sasha?
Yeah, I don't remember his last name, but Sasha was his name. I lived on Norval Street, and he lived at the other street where the meat market was on the corner.
and about how long a duration was that friendship? Like a year? A couple years?
Yeah, I think maybe 2 years, because then we moved to Brampton on 1975.
Okay. And yeah, that's how a lot of those little childhood friendships break up, right? I mean, the folks move. And, Manolis, tell me about a childhood friendship, your first childhood friendship you remember.
Is my neighbor. His name is Nick Total, and he's it's okay. And he's dead now, so I know where he is.
Wow.
He's totaled is what he is.
He was I was actually so shocked that when I found out that he passed, and I obviously went to his funeral, but he was the first dude I used to hang out with all the time. Like,
how old? He would have been the same age as you?
Well, he was probably like 2 or 3 years younger than me. It was like really, I don't know I don't know how he died, but he kind of had his shit together. So I was a little shocked that he passed. So, but you know, when the family doesn't really tell you anything, so like I don't know what happened. I don't know how he went, but yeah, I was like I was a little worried for myself, because I'm like, he's dead. I'm thinking I'm like,
here's what you got to understand: evil doesn't die. You're gonna be fine.
Patrick Coppolino, your first childhood friend that you remember.
Mine's a neighbor too. His name was Thomas, and he's probably the kind of kid that like every parent doesn't want their kids to hang out with, because he introduced me to everything that I shouldn't have been doing. But yeah, that's like, he's the earliest I can remember. I don't know what he's doing. We have each other on Facebook. I haven't seen him in years, but someone just stole his wife's car. So if you see a black SUV, that's all the info I have. It's his.
Wow, the power of social media, man. That's one way to stay in touch, eh? Steal the guy's car. Excellent. This topic on Friday at 420, this one's for you, Manolis. Topic number 12. What food deserves to be its own food group? What food deserves to be its own food group? It's just such a good food that it should be served all the time.
All the time. I'm a big fan of gyros. Like I guess they call them gyros. So anytime I can get my hands on one of those, I like eating them in Greece more though. Like, Russell, you been to Greece?
No, but I do like a good gyro.
Yeah,
I like it with no onions though.
I like it. I love it with that. I like in Greece they put French fries in them.
Oh yeah. I've seen that. They do it in Europe in a bunch of places.
Yeah, so I would have to say a gyro. Anytime I can get my hands on one of those, it's always a good day.
But you know what else is good are the Donair ones too.
Yeah, they're good. They work.
No, but in Canada we have the sweet sauce ones. Those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. But like when you go to somewhere like Tony's Corner, like one of those are good. But I prefer any kind of Greek food in Greece. But that's my answer.
Patrick Coppolino, give me a food that should be its own food group.
Chicken Parmesan. It should be served every day. It should be a necessary food group. Chicken Parmesan.
Chicken parm on the side of everything.
Everything for breakfast.
Okay, I like that. Russell Peters, give me something that you're just going to put on the side of everything.
Well, I mean, it should be its own food group. This could be an entire meal. It's always pizza, because it has all your. You can have all your basic food groups on it. You can have your starch. You can have your dairy. You can have your vegetables. You can have your meat.
And who doesn't love it, right?
I love pizza.
You can eat it right in the morning too.
Yeah, any time of day it's good.
Well, I vote Russell Peters wins that question.
Yeah,
that's the best food.
Chicken parm is a really good one because that's always the safest thing to order in a restaurant. That's the one thing you can't fuck up when you're making it. Is chicken parm.
Yeah.
Is that how you order, Russell? You're like, okay, I'm not sure about this place.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you can't fuck up chicken parm.
I felt that way for a long time about a club sandwich. I always thought every restaurant, a club sandwich, how do you mess that up, right? And then I was at a restaurant that messed it up.
Or they make them too big and your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Open this. Yeah.
All right. This question for you, Russell Peters. What is the sexiest thing a woman can wear? What is the sexiest thing a woman can wear?
I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of, I have a foot fetish. So, I mean, it would have to be open-toe shoes for sure.
We're learning so much about you, Russell. That's why we wanted to have you on.
I mean, I don't hide my shit, so.
Open-toed shoes. It's a perfect answer. What about you, Patrick Coppolino?
Nothing at all. I don't know.
I mean, it's a fair answer, too.
What's that?
It's a fair answer.
Yeah. My vote. I'm gonna go with nothing. Or you know what I like? I like more than like the girls like get all skimpy at the clubs and stuff. I actually prefer like like nice pair of jeans and a white shirt tucked in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever, dude.
Wait, you know what? This question. These are one of these questions, Russell, that we're really always worried about asking Manolis, but we're going to ask him anyway. Manolis, what is the sexiest thing a woman can wear?
High school uniform. That's
okay. I love when a girl wears a bikini top and like she's like showing off her cleavage, but she's like not showing all of it. I would even prefer them leaving the bikini top on during sex.
Oh my God! You've just jumped ahead of this whole thing, Manoli.
So not a bra, like, a bikini top.
Oh, anything, even like a nice, sexy bra that's like a push-up bra or something. Like I would prefer, like if I go to, if I went to a nudist beach and I would rather the girls wear bikini tops than be topless. Like
and to follow up on Russ,
then they wouldn't be nude.
I know, but it still would turn me on.
It
just drives me.
To follow up on Russell's earlier point, would the bikini top have like a school logo or something, or?
Well,
so you like them in the swim team? Is that what you're saying?
I was.
Oh, you know why? That's because you used to be a lifeguard. That's why you like that.
Yeah.
That's why you were a lifeguard.
Oh, because they like bikini tops, dude. One time these like
the same reason I worked at Aldo back in the day.
I was like, one time I was lifeguarding and these two girls, like these two 19-year-old girls came in swimming. And I didn't even understand why they were there because they had bikini tops and they were like super hot. I'm like, what are you doing inside of a rec center? But they're driving me crazy and I couldn't concentrate. So when I went on break, I took care of myself so I could concentrate when I was guarding.
So you took care of
Russell.
You ate a chicken parm or a gyro?
Both, dude. Both.
Russell, could I just ask a follow-up about working at Aldo with a foot fetish? What was that like?
Oh, amazing. It was incredible. It was perfect for me. And I worked at Young and Bluer. So I had like the hot business ladies coming in, and I like an older woman, so it was even better.
Why did you give it up?
A stupid comedy got in the way of it.
I remember we were coming back from LA one time, and you were buying some girl a pair of shoes, and I didn't know about your thing then, but it were like $800, and I was like, what? I couldn't believe I was like, what am I watching right? I couldn't believe that you spent that much money. Now it makes sense, but they were nice shoes.
I mean, for what they were worth.
Russell, could I ask you about that amazing painting behind you, the hand coming down? What is that?
That is DJ.
Oh, it's a DJ
Kubert.
scratching.
Yeah. That is
very cool, man.
That is DJ Kubert.
DJ Kubert.
Yes.
That's very cool. Who did the art?
It's a buddy of mine named Justin Bua. He's a really incredible artist. He was a graffiti guy. Now he does his stuff in a very graffiti style.
Did he do one of you?
Yeah, he did the Notorious backdrop for me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Excellent. We're on Friday at 4:20. Of course, if you're watching on Facebook, thank you for joining us. Of course, Russell Peters, our special guest. And if you're listening to this, it means it's Friday afternoon and you're listening to Funny 820 and it's the weekend. So we appreciate you doing that. Russell, I just want to take a quick break here for a second, just to ask you a little bit about your future plans. I know COVID's thrown a bunch of curveballs at us and things have been kind of crazy, but what are you looking forward to? What have you got planned? Have you got things planned for the future that we can look forward to?
I mean, I just wanted to come back to normal. And then I don't want anything special. I don't want anything extra. I just wanted to go back to normal.
Yeah.
Even if normal was shitty before, I'll take that shitty.
Are there comedy plans for tours, shows?
Yeah, I mean, I got dates coming up. I'm in Miami next weekend. Thursday, Friday, June 24th to 27th or something like that.
Excellent.
How many clubs are open down 25th,
there? Whatever it is, and I'm there that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm at the Miami Improv, and that should be fun because even with the social distancing, you're still in Miami.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's really no reason.
Friday at 4:20. It's your topic now, Russell. I'm going to give you this for a first swing at it. Have you ever had to give a best man speech, and did you kill it?
I've had to give a few best man speeches, and I've never done well on them.
Really?
Yeah, I think when you get up there, people are like, "Ooh, Russell, he's a comedian," and they're like, and I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to be a little bit funny, but I don't want to make it too jokey because then it's really not a win situation for you because people are like, oh, because you're a comedian, you had to make it all funny. Why don't you just try and be from the heart? And then you're trying to find the balance, and then you don't strike either one. So yeah, I usually miss the mark. The same way you and I would miss the toilet bowl.
It's so true though, right? Because there's so, like a lot of it has its expectations and stuff. I am not a comedian, and I've given best man speeches, and people are always like, "Oh my God, that's so funny," because they weren't expecting me to be funny.
Right? Yeah. It's usually what I like to do is I end up emceeing a lot of the weddings.
Okay.
Rather do that and let everybody else make the speeches so I can make fun of them.
And it's a win for everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, at starting from scratch's wedding, I emceed it, but I got hammered, and I think I called his wife's mother a MILF. Yeah, it was all bad. I was making fun of people in the audience.
Was it going well, or was it just bad afterwards?
They turned the mic off on me.
No way.
Because I was slurring and everything.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
I would love to be
Patrick
there.
Coppolino, have you ever had to give a best man speech, and did you kill it?
No. The only person in my life who I think would ask me to be their best man is Manolis, and the longer he's single, I'm starting to think, unless they make it legal for him to marry his hand, I'm never going to get to do it. So.
Remember that joke you used to do, Manolis, about fucking an ugly chick? It's just it's better than your hand. Anything is better than your hand.
Yeah, that was my first 5 minutes. I remember that joke. It blows my mind that you remember that joke.
I've literally watched you from the first time you went on stage.
Yeah, you were at my second show, but like there's like the joke was like some guys like
I wouldn't
so
fuck her.
I would fuck her. I'm like, dude, you fuck your hand. I'm like, anything's better than your hand. And I didn't went off of that. It was like, yeah, I thought it was a genius.
You were a genius.
An equal genius.
Manolis, have you ever had to give a best man speech, and did you kill it?
Yes and yes. So I had to give a best man speech for my brother, and actually that's the first time I actually ended up doing stand-up, because I didn't realize I was going to do stand-up. I didn't know what to talk about, so I just ended up telling like 3 or 4 stories of our childhood and about me and my brother and my dad growing up, and I ended up killing, and I started getting laughs. I'm like, automatically, as soon as people started laughing, I was all relaxed, and I'm like, I felt like I could have took the mic. I stood behind the podium, but I felt like I could have took the mic out and started walking around all hockey.
To the table. Hey, you, man, what's your hometown? That's my hometown.
Exactly. It was amazing. But I always do a speech at every wedding. I always do the same speech. I'll just ask if they give out the mic. I'm like, listen, I'm so amazed at the love that they have, and it made me realize that I want love in my life. But I realize I don't have a girlfriend. So if anybody is single tonight and looking for love, please let me know. I do that every time.
Yeah.
If I ever got married again, Manolis, I would make sure you made a speech at my wedding.
Oh, I would love to.
I would love a Manolis speech at my wedding.
I was at Jan. I didn't make a. I was at Giannis Pappas' wedding. That was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you know him, actually. I don't
know.
Okay,
Russell, talk, because you're on the show because you are friends with Manolis. Manolis and you go way back, and Manolis was kind enough to ask you, and you were kind enough to accept to be on Friday at 420. So we certainly appreciate that. So talk to me just a little bit about this friendship with Manolis, and kind of what you saw of him then, and what you thought of. Did you think he was going to make it as a comedian, or?
I didn't know if he was going to make it as a comedian or not, but I didn't care because I actually just liked him. Like, he's that guy, you're like if he didn't do stand-up, he's the guy you'd hang out with. You go, man, you need to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And then when he does it, you go, man, you should really consider something else. But he's always like, he is who he is. You know what I mean? You don't get 2 different Manolises. Yeah. So if you either love Manolis or you can't stand Manolis. But I don't know anybody that can't stand Manolis. I know a lot of people that Manolis can't stand.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
you know.
It's kind of like you just accept him. You go, that's just who he is. You can't even take anything personal from him. He's not malicious, you know what I mean? He's not a dick. That's why I like breaking his balls, because he knows, he's just the guy, when you meet him, you go, oh, I could hang out with this guy. That's easy. I could do that.
Yeah, he's absolutely one of the nicest people I've met in comedy, and I met him through comedy, but he's just one of the nicest, genuine people, regardless of comedy. So yeah, there's no
ulterior motive when he's your friend. If he's your friend, he just wants to be your friend.
Yeah.
If you can help him, that's great. If you can't help him, that's great. Look, I've been here long. I've been living in California for 14 years, and he's never once asked me for shit. He's just like, hey man, hey dude, I was just in LA. I go, well, why didn't you call me? I didn't want to bother you. I'm like, dick. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that. He's not like, hey, I'm coming to LA. Can you set me up with everything? He's never done that to me.
That's awesome. On the other hand,
I'm moved. I'm sorry. I'm just moved. Thanks, dude. I'm so.
You know what? It's true though. Everything Russell says is true. Now, I was just going to add that Patrick is actually the dick. So just so we're clear.
Have I met Patrick before?
Yeah, we've met a couple times. Yeah. Okay, could you put me up? I'm coming to LA soon.
Yeah, let me know.
I got you to sign a book for Patrick, your book.
Oh, yeah.
To Patrick for Father's Day,
which is this weekend.
Are you a father?
I am a father. It was my first Father's Day. You signed a book for me, so thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I remember
that. You're listening to Friday at 420. Our special guest, Russell Peters, as we continue through. We've got a couple more topics, and then we're going to let Russell get back to his busy life, and Manolis will get back to Pornhub. Name a super popular movie, Patrick, that you've never seen. A super popular movie. Everybody's seen it, but you have not seen it.
I haven't seen a single Star Wars movie in my life.
Wow.
Not a single one.
That's crazy.
No, there's a lot of them too.
And I have no.
There's more than there needs to be.
Yeah.
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
So no Star Wars.
No, I have not a single one.
And no Star Trek.
Nothing.
Okay. Wow. Nothing with Star in it.
Nothing with
Star
stars.
Born?
No.
Star Born? No.
I've not seen that one either. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He's read Star, my book.
Yeah, I've read Manolis' short story.
Manolis Zontanos, tell me a name of a popular movie that everybody's seen but you have not seen.
E.T. E.T. You know, it's not big. Oh, there's a lot of people not seen that movie. I don't know.
Well, people saw it, but
I've never seen.
Could you pick a movie that's not from 38 years ago? Literally 38 years ago.
30. All right. I'm trying to think of a movie I haven't seen.
Did you see Titanic?
I saw Titanic. I was impressed. I was like, I knew like the whole thing. I'm like, I remember I had a girlfriend at the time. She was in love with Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was about to hit the iceberg. And I whispered to her, I'm like, what do you think is going to happen? And she just hit me as hard as she could. And I was like, that was near the end of that relationship for sure.
That iceberg was proverbial at that point.
There's
Spoiler alert, baby.
It was a metaphor, that iceberg.
Russell, tell me a name of a popular movie that everybody's seen, but that Russell Peters has not.
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
Matrix.
Okay.
Avatar. Any of the Harry Potters or the Lord of the Rings.
None of those?
None of those.
Wow, okay.
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh!
I've never seen that either.
No?
No.
Are you guys like saving it for later or something?
No, I can't do fucking flying dragons and all that dumb shit.
Yeah, me too.
It's true. There are flying dragons in both Harry Potter and Game of Thrones. So you hit a wide map there. That's very interesting. This topic came up because I was having a conversation with three other people, and those three other people, none of them had seen a movie that I thought everybody on planet Earth had seen, and that was Lion King.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
No way!
No.
You haven't seen The Lion King?
Cartoon
I've
or
never watched any of the Disney movies.
Oh, really?
No Disney?
And I've got two kids.
Yeah. How's that possible?
How did you do that?
I put it on and I leave the room. I don't want to see it. I don't like all the singing and all that big eye. Here.
So
what do your kids watch?
I don't know.
Harry Potter,
whatever.
Disney.
No, my daughter, she's
Sopranos.
more playing her iPad and games now.
Yeah.
My son is 14 months old, but his mother keeps putting on like Wreck-It Ralph and all that shit for him. And Ratatouille and
how old is your daughter, Russell?
9.5.
9.5. And so and what's her name?
Christiana.
And so what do you and Christiana like to do? What do you do when you're hanging out?
We hang out. We'll just get goofy. You know what I mean? We'll like to do these little fake dinners. Daddy, come! I made up a restaurant. I'm like, okay, what's on the menu? And she'll be like, hello, welcome to my restaurant. What would you like to eat? And then I have to play along. What's the specials today? Oh, we have macaroni and cheese, chicken tenders. I'm like, I didn't say what do you like to eat. What's the special today? How old are your kids, Pat?
She's 8 and she does the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's a thing with them, and you got to play along.
Yeah,
and you got to make. Ooh, this was delicious.
Yeah.
I have 2 daughters who are both in their 20s, right. And we've moved past the fake restaurants, and now I have to take them out to real restaurants, which gets really expensive.
Right, and
but we do.
Or he'll try to take them to real restaurants too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing on my playlist, man, is I sit around, I party with my girls, we have a great time together, and I just constantly warn them to stay away from Manolis. So,
I get that a lot.
I mean, you're not a bad guy, Manolis, but you're not the guy we want the accident to happen with.
I know. When a girl likes me, I question that too. I'm like,
I'm the same. I'm like, what? I mean, I know I got money, so what else do you like?
One more topic. What are you gonna say, Manolis? Go ahead.
I have no money, so if they like me, I'm really worried.
Yeah.
We all
back
are.
to your place. You mean my parents?
I was waiting for that.
We're going to wrap up this edition, special 100th edition of Friday at 420 with Russell Peters. With this very deep, very interesting question. I think this is a great place to end the show off on. We're going to go around the horn here. I'm going to start with you, Patrick Coppolino. Best popsicle flavor?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Ooh, I like chocolate. That's a good choice. Russell Peters, best popsicle flavor?
Orange, the ones that you have to snap, in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want to break that thing, man.
Yeah. Orange or the red, white, and blue ones.
Red, white. That's what I had. I had a rocket last night, and that's what got me thinking about it because I love the red, white, and blue. That is awesome. Manoli?
Red, white, and blue ones. I totally forgot. I was gonna say just the blue ones, but the one Russell said, like, I can't believe I forgot about those.
I think they call them rockets now. Yeah. We just used to call them
I was so broke when I was a kid that Coke used to be 25 cents for a bottle, but you get 15 cents. No, you get a dime on the return. So one time I had 15 cents and I talked the girl into letting me drink it in front of her, and then I gave her the bottle for the last 10 cents.
Fair.
It's a good deal.
She's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just drank it, I put it down, and I went on with my life.
All right, you guys all missed.
It's also a great way of describing your life.
I should have married that girl.
You guys all missed out on the best popsicle flavor banana, but whatever. Listen, I'm just going to go around one time quickly. Any closing thoughts, final words? Patrick Coppolino, anything you'd like to say?
I just want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law's restaurant, Vicino, in Toronto.
Vicino, okay.
Very nice Italian restaurant. You can get chicken parmesan there, but they have all kinds of stuff.
He's pushing the parm, man.
Take your dad's there for Father's Day this weekend.
Vicino.
Are they open?
Well, yeah, they're open for this weekend patios are going to be open, and takeout and all that stuff too. So check it out.
Patrick, where are they in Toronto?
It's downtown Toronto. I can't remember exactly where, but just Google it.
Is it in Little Italy, like on St. Clair?
No, it's in the same building as like a retirement living home.
Oh, sounds great. So if you do have COVID, try not to go there because you're literally around the people who could die from it.
Yeah. But the food's delicious.
This chicken parm is killer.
Okay. Patrick, Manolis, anything you'd like to add before we let this episode end?
Thanks for doing this, Russell. Me and Patrick been doing the show with you for 2 years now.
2 years, yeah.
2 years, and we've been doing it for. Is it okay? We've been doing it for free. So we just started a Patreon, and is that what you call it, Patrick?
Yeah,
Patreon, and you can put money into it somehow. I don't know how.
You subscribe to Patreon, and then you go, so you get like little levels and stuff, and $5 or whatever. And
so if you're a fan of Friday at 420 and you'd like to support the guys, I'm not part of that because I actually work for a large telecommunications company, but these guys are doing this show out of the goodness of their heart, and we love Friday at 420, and there's lots of people who love listening to this show. So you'd go to Patreon, look up Friday at 420, and you can donate a little to support the show and keep it moving forward.
Get Manolis out of the basement.
In closing, I'd like to hand it off to you, Russell Peters. Anything you'd like to say as we close this off?
I'm always happy to see my Canadian guys and girls trying to do things on their own, not waiting for the handout, not waiting for somebody to give them something to do. So when Manolis and Patrick and yourself step up and try to do something like this, it makes me feel happy. And I'm glad to be a part of it, and I'm glad to be on the 100th episode. I'm glad Patrick looks like the most munja cake Italian I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
And Manolis is the most non-Greek guy with the most Greek name in the world.
Well, Russell, listen, it was absolutely our pleasure to have you on the show, man. It was great. You're very funny, and we love seeing you succeed as Canadians. Love seeing you go out there in the world and take it on behalf of us, man. So continued success, continued funniness in your life, man.
Well, thanks. And I'm hoping that town that's having trouble, that Peter Russell town. Did you know that I'm literally the front runner for them to change the name to Russell Peters?
Yes.
I don't even know where it is. Is it like near Ottawa or something like that?
I believe so. Just outside.
I'm open to it. Look, if you want to name it after me, I've never owned anybody.
It is true. It's for people who don't know the story that they want to rename the town of Russell. They want to actually don't want to rename it. They want to find a new Russell to name it for instead of the Russell it was named for, who was involved in slavery.
His name was Peter Russell.
Peter Russell.
Yeah.
So Russell Peters.
I'm just a dyslexic version of him.
We absolutely love the idea. You know what? Forget Patreon. Everybody, go sign the petition that makes Russell Peters the new namesake for.
But do it after you've joined their Patreon, because what's more important is their survival than my ego.
Absolutely. Russell Peters, thank you so much, man. Patrick Coppolino, Manolis Zontanos, thank you guys. What a great first 100th episode of Friday at 420. We appreciate it. For all of you listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back week after week to enjoy the show. And until we get a chance to talk to you again in 7 days, have an awesome weekend.
Thanks, dude.
Hey, Russell.